Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Gabert. I'm Webgility's marketing director and an e-commerce veteran. In this video, I'll help you learn about how small business owners like yourself can benefit from the CARES Act and its Paycheck Protection Program. The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, CARES, was signed into law on March 27th, providing $2.2 trillion to individuals and organizations affected by COVID-19. The $1,200 paychecks to taxpayers have gotten extensive publicity, but there's also a section of the act that provides $370 billion in relief for small businesses. The aid comes in the form of either a Paycheck Protection Program loan, a payroll tax credit, or a tax deferment, and there are options to explore if your retail business has fewer than 500 employees. If you meet the definition of a small business set by the U.S. Small Business Administration and have been impacted by COVID-19, you're eligible to apply for one of these programs. If you follow some simple guidelines, the loans can be forgiven. So shelter-in-place orders across the country have resulted in the closure or limited operation of many businesses. If your small retail business has been deemed non-essential and has been fully or partially closed due to COVID-19, you may be eligible for employee retention tax credits. You may also be eligible if you've seen at least a 50% drop in quarterly gross receipts as compared to 2019. So employers can apply for these tax credits if they've furloughed workers or reduced employee hours due to either of these circumstances. So if you have fewer than 100 employees, all employee wages and health benefits are eligible for the credit, which is available through the end of 2020. If you have more than 100 employees, you can only apply for the credit on the wages and benefits of furloughed employees. And additionally, the CARES Act allows businesses of any size to delay paying certain payroll taxes for the remainder of the year. So employers with less than 500 employees should be aware that the retention credits are only available if they forego taking the new SBA payroll loans that are also provided under the bill. So be aware that you must choose between the loan or the tax credits. You can't receive both. The CARES Act allocated $17 billion to relieve small businesses with existing SBA loans of their loan payments for 6 months. This includes payments on the principal, interest, and fees on the loan. So specifically, the SBA has named the 7A Community Advantage Pilot Program, 504, and micro loan programs as being covered by the CARES Act. So if you already have one of those SBA loans, you may be able to suspend your payments for up to 6 months. The CARES Act includes nearly $350 billion in funding for a provision to create a Paycheck Protection Program that will cover small businesses and entities with zero-fee loans of up to $10 million. These temporary new loans forgive up to 8 weeks of average payroll and other costs if the business retains its employees and their salary levels. They also defer principal and interest for up to a year and waive all borrower fees. This program was launched as an incentive for small businesses to continue paying their employees. So if you use the loan for payroll costs, interest, mortgage, rent, utilities, it will likely be forgiven, at least in part, by the U.S. Small Business Administration. There are a few requirements for total loan forgiveness, so be sure to follow the recommended steps to increase your chances of having your loans forgiven. Here's how to qualify. Number one, maintain your workforce. If your business was open last year, try to keep the same number of employees on payroll that you had between February 15th and June 30th. If you can't do that, maintain the headcount you had between January 1st and February 15th of this year. You can lay off employees, but they must be rehired by June 30th in order for your loan to be forgiven in full. Keep salaries and wages steady. The PPP covers up to $100,000 per year per worker of payroll. So business owners are advised to maintain salaries and wages. Reductions of up to more than 25% decrease your chances of loan forgiveness. So if this is already something you've done, consider restoring your employees' wages. Number three, record loan spending information. Qualifying for loan forgiveness will include providing proof of how you spent the loan. So be sure to keep an accurate record of how much went to payroll, benefits, mortgage, rent, utilities, and other expenses. Use at least 75% of the loan for payroll. The most recent recommendation from the Small Business Administration is to spend no more than 25% of the loan on non-payroll related expenses. Small businesses that need immediate economic assistance can apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which is a loan of up to $2 million that carries interest rates up to 3.75% for companies and up to 2.75% for nonprofits, as well as principal and interest deferment for up to 4 years. These loan applicants can be granted $10,000 within 3 days, and the grant does not have to be repaid. Small businesses simply must use the loan to pay for expenses that could have been met had the disaster not occurred. The eligibility for these loans is the same as what is required for the PPP, and you can apply for both. So there are a lot of resources available to small businesses as the federal and state governments work to provide enough temporary relief to keep businesses alive. Links to the resources discussed here can be found in the description of this video. Remember, COVID-19 has created ongoing difficulty for many people across the world, but we can beat it.